Death Car Cleveland down in the Steel Yards. Do anybody know where Steel Yard Common is downtown? This is the Midwest Preservation Society. It's actually a train restoration location down there. And the Death Car actually started its life in like 1923. It was designed by Pullman, and it was part of a 15-car passenger train making its way through Wayland, New York back in 1943. And down the train a ways was a derailed engine. And this is one of those huge locomotives, the big boiler engines that was overturned on the tracks. There was miscommunication between the two trains. The Lackawanna thought that the track was clear. It was not clear, so it came down at full speed. The first 5 cars derailed when it hit the engine. The 6th car, or the 62 car, as they called it, stayed upright. As it stayed upright, it sideswiped the boiler of the engine that was overturned, and it sheared off all the bolts. As the bolts were sheared off, it opened up the bulkhead, and it poured all that hot steam and water into the 62 car, blew out all the windows on the one side. And as that steam went into the 62 car, men, women, and children from the ages of 5 to 90 were actually like ducking underneath the seats to try to get away from the steam. They all inhaled it, so they literally cooked themselves from inside out. 26 people died immediately from that accident, and 2 more died the next day. So they coined it the Death Car. They had since restored it, as morbid as that is, and they actually sent it out on excursions in the Ohio Valley on train rides. So you guys can get a ride on it if you want. When it's not out on excursions in the Ohio Valley, it's actually left there at the museum. It is their coach. And this is one of the most wicked places that I've ever investigated, because that's a lot of death. 28 people in one location, the size of one train car. That's a tremendous amount of energy in that area. And you know, the whole thing, like I said, you feel like people are like something's at your feet. I actually found online, and I bought it, an original newspaper article from this accident. When I was reading the article, talk about creepy, is it actually said that the men and women were, and the children were trying to hide underneath the seats to keep from getting scolded and all that. And that's like, I never knew that when I was experiencing all that stuff. So the windows have been restored, they say like 2 to 4 times. They're basically like a bus window, if anybody remembers those growing up. They would latch in place so they wouldn't slam down and break all the glass out. Trains are set up the same way. So the claim to fame with this is the windows always slam shut, as if those 28 souls are trying to keep that event from happening every single day, and they're trying to keep out the hot steam and water. We were really fortunate when we were pushing haunted vehicles. We're talking about how we started all that back in the day. Is we pushed it so much that we got the attention of Pilgrim Studios. If anybody knows anything about Pilgrim Studios, it's one of the largest production companies in the United States. They do different jobs, dirty jobs,
Street Outlaws.
Street Outlaws. They actually do Ghost Hunters Taps on TV. It's their film crew. So they like the concept of haunted vehicles so much. This is actually part of our pilot that we were filming, was in this Death Car. And out of all the investigations that they did with taps, they actually said this was one of the most haunted locations that they've done, which is impressive for little old us in Ohio, with a nationally huge team that does anything that they want. That they were so impressed that they actually had taps come out the next summer and film an episode there in Cleveland. And that was all due to us. So we actually have their sound guy and their producer with a camera filming us for our pilots, and then this is kind of what happens. I'm on the camera, so we have Carlo, another member, and then those two produce, the producer and sound guy from Pilgrim Studios with us. It's funny today, but it was traumatizing back then, but I'll play it a couple times for you.
Don't go back there.
Anybody back here? Dude, we got knife. Was that kidding me?
What the hell was that?
You know what that was? It was one of those window slams. And they didn't know where to go because complete darkness. We're looking at a little screen like this, so they're running into each other. Then you see our producer. He didn't know where to go because he kept on bouncing off of people, so he just sits down on the end of the seats.